The recent JJS drama is absolutely insane. If you've been on Roblox, Twitter, Discord, or YouTube recently, you've probably seen accusations being thrown around left and right, and some of the claims are extremely serious. But here's the problem. A lot of people are saying right now either leaves out context or is based on evidence that doesn't actually prove what people claim it proves. So today I want to go through the biggest allegations surrounding the strongest battlegrounds, the JJS community and its developers and moderation team, and separate what's actually supported from what's being exaggerated online. And just to be clear, this isn't me telling you that anyone is completely innocent or guilty. I'm going through the information that's currently being circulated and the context surrounding it. Let's start with TZ. Basically, he's currently facing some of the biggest accusations. One of the major claims being made is that TZ has a controversial history involving suggestive content in Roblox games. Some people have even gone as far as calling him a predator or claiming that he lied about his age to avoid responsibility. Those are extremely serious accusations, but when you actually look at some of the evidence being used to support these claims, things become a lot less straightforward. For example, there are screenshots being circulated that people claim prove TZ lied about his age, but if you actually look at the dates in the chronology of those messages, the screenshots don't necessarily establish that he was lying. In other words, the timeline has been presented by some people doesn't automatically prove the conclusion they're making, and that's an important distinction, as screenshots can be real with the interpretation of that screenshot is completely different. Another thing people have brought up is an older JoJo-related game that has allegedly used similar female character proportions. According to the context being discussed, TZ saw that this type of design was attracting a significant number of players. But once he recognized the nature of what was happening and became uncomfortable with it, he stopped developing the game and transferred ownership and apologized. Now you can absolutely criticize the decisions that were made during that period, but there's a major difference between saying this was something he was involved with and handled poorly, and saying this proves he's a predator. These are two completely different claims, and the second one requires a lot more evidence than simply pointing to an old game. And the Loppy controversy. Then there's the situation involving an artist known as Loppy. People have been circulating artwork that TZ apparently accepted for free and using that as evidence against him. But there's a major piece of context that people need to understand. The claim being made is that TZ was around 14 years old at the time. According to the explanation surrounding these events, he didn't understand the terms being used meant of the implications associated with the person involved. And once he became aware of the situation, the claim is that he cut ties with the artists and warned other people about them. Again, you don't have to believe every statement surrounding this situation. But if you're going to make an extremely serious accusation against someone, you need to consider the full timeline, including their age and what they actually knew at the time. And then there's a picture of TZ with Loppy that's been circulating everywhere. People have been using this picture as a supposed evidence of their relationship. But there's one very important question. When was the picture taken? Because according to the timeline being presented, this picture was taken before Loppy became publicly controversial. And that matters. You can't necessarily take a picture from before someone was exposed for controversial behavior. Use the picture itself as proof that the person in it somehow knew what was going to happen. That's basically judging someone based on information they supposedly didn't have at the time. So once again, context matters. But TZ isn't the only person facing controversy. The JJS moderation team has also come under heavy criticism. One of the biggest examples involves a moderator named Jamie. According to the allegations being discussed, Jamie was accused of doing some serious disturbing things, and the people were extremely angry that it reportedly took more than 10 hours for action to be taken. Now, naturally, that led to people asking, why did it take so long? And that's a completely fair question. If evidence of serious misconduct is presented, people are going to expect moderators to act quickly. However, the explanation given for the delay is the modern team was verifying the evidence before taking action. And importantly, the claim is that this wasn't an attempt to cover anything up. This team supposedly wanted to establish that the evidence was legitimate before taking action. Whether you think 10 hours is an acceptable amount of time is another discussion entirely. But that's very different from automatically concluding that the delay itself proves a cover-up. The Remy situation. Then there has been more moderators such as Remy who has faced allegations. In that particular case, the allegations been circulated were reportedly found to be false. But despite that, the person was apparently still banned, and that is where things get complicated. Because if you're criticizing the moderation team for not taking action quickly enough in one situation, you also have to acknowledge cases where they took action despite the allegations themselves being disputed or proven false. You can't just pick whenever examples support the side of the argument you already believe. And honestly, this is the biggest issue I have with this entire situation. The internet is incredibly good at taking a complicated situation and turning it into person A is evil or person B is completely innocent. But real situations usually aren't that simple. Someone can make a bad decision without they automatically proving they're a predator. A moderation team can handle a situation poorly without the automatically proving they were covering something up. And an allegation being posted online doesn't automatically mean it is a fact. At the same time, saying that there isn't enough evidence to prove this allegation doesn't mean you have blindly defended the person being accused. Both things can be true. So, is the JJS drama serious? Absolutely. There are some genuinely concerning allegations being discussed, and they deserve to be taken seriously. But if you're going to discuss something this serious, use your head. Look at the dates, look at the context, look at what the evidence actually proves, not what someone on Twitter tells you it proves. And most importantly, don't turn accusations into facts before everything has been properly established. I love the JJS community as much as the next person, but we need to be able to criticize people without jumping to conclusions. So what do you guys think about this whole situation? Do you think the evidence being presented actually proves the allegations, or do you think important context is being left out? Let me know in the comments, and if you enjoyed the video, make sure to subscribe for more Roblox news, drama, and updates. I'll see you guys in the next one.